Always nice to see so many familiar faces, so many friendly faces here tonight. We want to thank you for being a part of our 35th annual Penguin Club Scholarship Ring Banquet here at Mr. Anthony's. We are very happy to be honoring our Penguin of the Year, Bob Hendricks. Also, we will be recognizing our championship teams here tonight from this past year. So we are looking forward to that and hope that you enjoy yourself along the way. My name is Rob Schmidt. I'll be your host throughout the course of the evening. Before we get started, just a few pieces of business to get taken care of. As always, please turn your phone to either mute or silent. I don't care if it goes off while I'm talking, but as far as our guests, that would be rather rude. All right, also, to start things off, several people we want to thank. First and foremost, thanks to the staff and management here at Mr. Anthony's. If we got a nice round of applause for them. They always do such a wonderful job. In fact, I think this is the first time since I've been up here that we didn't have to invite people to the buffet line. As soon as they came in, they made a beeline to the buffet line. So either everybody was really hungry or the food here at Mr. Anthony's is really good. My thing is the latter. But again, thanks to Mr. Anthony's. Also, thank you to Cavelli Enterprises for its continued support of this event and of YSU athletics. Thanks to our friends at Birkeland Flowers for the beautiful centerpieces. I'll remind you once again, please take the flowers at the end of the night and not the vases. Birkeland has hired a vase squad that will hunt you down if you take that vase home with you. So please take the flowers. Also, special thanks to KDC Printing. If you had an opportunity to look at our program here tonight, please read through that. A lot of time and effort went into that, bios of our guests, our student athletes, and past Penguins of the Year. So please take time and kind of roll through the book that KDC Printing was able to produce for us. Also, thank you to all the area businesses that were kind enough to take an ad and show your support of Youngstown State and Youngstown State athletics. We appreciate everyone at LED3 for their video screens here. We've deployed a few extra, so we do want to thank them for their work. Thanks to Greg Roten in the back from Armstrong. He is recording tonight's program for posterity. I'd also like to thank a few other people who helped put this event together. If they would stand, Tom Morella, Austin Snodgrass, Nate Smoot, and Jim Morrison. Would they please stand? Those are our members of the Penguin Club within the athletic department. And our program here, as you well know, continues to reach unprecedented success both on the field, on the court, and in the classroom. A driving force behind that is our Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, Ron Strollo. He hates it when I call him out. Would you please stand, Ron? He hates it. 1 year we're going to get him to talk. I don't know when, but 1 year soon we're going to get Ron up here. Again, would everyone from our athletic department please stand and be recognized? Ron has put together a phenomenal staff that goes above and beyond to make sure that our student athletes have a fantastic experience during their days at Youngstown State. Would our staff please stand and be recognized for all of their assistance? Don't be shy. Most of them are in the back. If I got to call you out by name, I will. Thank you. All right, now this past fall, nearly 500 YSU student athletes had a banner semester in the classroom. And for the second consecutive semester, they had the #1 cumulative GPA among all Ohio Division I institutions. Think about that, all Division I institutions in Ohio. The accomplishment is a testament to the relentless dedication, discipline, and resilience of our student athletes. They continue to set the excellence level and the standard for our university and for all of those wanting to compete at the highest level. As many of you know, this event not only helps raise money for athletic scholarships, but for the championship rings that have been earned by our 7 championship teams, who we are also honoring here tonight: women's bowling, men's indoor and outdoor track and field, women's tennis, men's and women's cross country. Congratulations to their respective head coaches, Doug Kaburski, Brian Gorby, and Mikkel Sopel. If they would please stand. Also, if their coaching staff and student athletes from those respective teams would please stand. Congratulations on a championship season. we want to thank you for all your hard work and perseverance. All right, it's my honor to introduce to you our first speaker of the night. He's now been the president of Youngstown State University for more than 2 years. He continues to have a positive impact, not just on campus, but in our community. In his State of the University address, he reported that a 2.1 increase in student enrollment has been made, marking the second consecutive year of growth at Youngstown State University. He is also overseeing the establishment of a new satellite campus in Steubenville. It is my great honor to introduce to you YSU President Bill Johnson.
Well, thank you, Rob. Ron made me promise to keep this short. That'll be really easy because Rob just stole 6 of my 7 talking points that I was going to talk about. But Rod did ask me to keep it short, and so as Elizabeth Taylor said to her 7th husband, relax. We'll have a good time while you're here, but trust me, I won't be keeping you long. But thank you for that kind introduction, Rob. You know, 35 years is a long time. And some of you in this room have been to every one of these. I know because I've heard some of you. But we don't come to the ring banquet just solely to celebrate athletic performance, although that's a huge part of it. But it's more than that. Tonight, we celebrate all of our young men and women who wear the red and white, both in their sports and in the classroom, as well as all of you in this room that support them in our programs and enable us to do with our athletic department what we do. So the First Lady, Leanne, and I are very, very proud and honored to be a part of this banquet this evening. To everyone in this room, thank you. You're a big reason Youngstown State athletics thrive. Your passion, your loyalty, and your generosity matter far more than you know to our student athletes, our coaches, and our entire university community. I tell you, every time I'm in the stands, whether it's at Stanball Stadium, at a football game, at a basketball game in Beagley, baseball, softball, bowling, lacrosse, volleyball, or soccer, you name it, I walk away inspired. These are exceptional young men and women who give everything they have for YSU and for each other. And they don't do it alone. Their coaches push them to be their best. Their families sacrifice for them, and our community believes in them. Your testimony to that. It's this kind of investment, determination, and sacrifice across the board that produces athletes like our own FCS Walter Payton Award winner, Bo Brungard from New Springfield. Go ahead, you can clap for that. And our 2025 Horizon League Volleyball Player of the Year and Offensive Player of the Year, Abby Householder. But there's a lot of athletic excellence in this room, so let's give all of our student athletes one more big, resounding round of applause, if you would, please. I too want to thank some folks that often don't get singled out, to recognize some people who make all this possible year after year. Our Board of Trustees, the Penguin Club Board of Trustees and their members, our university administration, of course our athletic director Ron Strollo and his athletic department leadership team. None of this happens without their commitment and their sacrifice. So thank you all for making this happen. And I want to recognize our Penguin of the Year, a man who bleeds red and white and whose generosity speaks for itself. Please join me in celebrating Bob Hendricks. Bob, along with his wife Michelle, their 5 children, a combined 11 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. I mean, they form a really large flock of loyal penguins just among themselves. Bob is a devoted supporter of YSU, where he proudly serves as a YSU Penguin Club trustee, a scholarship loge holder, and a Hendricks family basketball seating donor. No matter the cause, if it involves YSU, he constantly cheers for the Penguins. Bob, we're grateful. Congratulations to you for your loyalty and your passionate service to YSU. Thank you very much. Before I close, and trust me, I am going to close, Rob, I want to share a few exciting facts about where YSU is going. The first is the renovation of the Kilcawley Center. You know, the Kilcawley Center is home away from home for some 12,500 students. It's where they eat, connect, study, get involved, and gather in their small penguin huddles. Everything is on track for a grand reopening in the fall of 2027, and assuming all goes well, we'll see new vibrant meeting spaces, and assuming along with that, matching the energy and ambition of our students, we'll see new dining options, refreshed gathering areas, updated facilities that'll say to every student who walks onto our campus, this is a place where you can belong. Many of you have contributed generously to help make this project happen. Many thought we would never get this project off the ground. I heard it termed that it was dead on arrival when I first got here. But many of you in this room stepped forward, and we've put a big dent in the $57 million debt that we're having to incur to put this project together. But it's necessary. It brings us into a future for future students, and I'm so grateful to all of you that helped out with this. So thank you. When it's all said and done, it'll be something that we can all be proud of for decades to come. Next is our expansion, as Rob mentioned, to a second operating location down in Steubenville. Many of you have heard about this, the unfortunate closure of the former Eastern Gateway Community College, which left a very serious, wide gaping void in higher education throughout that region, throughout Eastern Ohio. That's the heart of the Appalachian region. We're filling that void by extending the reach of YSU education to students and families who deserve access to the dedicated faculty and quality programs we offer here at YSU. Thanks to our board, our leadership team, and our amazing faculty and staff, we're creating opportunities for a better future for thousands of students who often feel left behind. Our vision is to be the anchor university of Northeast Ohio, one that inspires individuals, enriches lives, and enhances futures. And now we're extending that vision to the people of Jefferson, Belmont, Harrison, and Carroll counties, and far beyond. If you drive through Steubenville, you'll see that the transition is well underway. The green and blue is turning bright crimson red. The campus there is proudly turning into a YSU facility. The big red Y is in full view, and the community there is excited about our plan to begin teaching classes there this fall. Finally, and I'm sure many of you have also heard, in collaboration with JAC and YLive, we're bringing back the summer concert series to Stambaugh Stadium this summer. That's right, if all goes well, over the weekend of July 10th and 11th this summer, we'll see some 40 to 50,000 people on the YSU campus. for 2 back-to-back shows. Jason Aldean on a Friday night. On the following night, Eric Church will be the headliner. So if you haven't purchased your ticket yet, I urge you to do so because I think they're going to be hot items and I think they're going to go pretty fast. In closing, let me say this. I believe the word is out. Students from all across the region, the state, our nation, and even the world are seeing what we're doing here at YSU. From our athletics to the quality of our education and the feeling of the belongingness of a community. And they know why YSU is such a special place. And it's why our enrollment continues to climb semester after semester. Rob mentioned that in my State of the University speech, I said we were up again for the second year in a row. Well, it happened again this spring. We're now into our 3rd year of back-to-back-to-back enrollment increasing. And that's happening when other colleges and universities all across the nation are struggling to make ends meet, to meet enrollment goals, to stay financially sound, and to avoid shutting their doors because that's happening to many. But it's not happening here at Youngstown State. So thank you all once again for being here this evening, for your generosity, your loyalty, and your love of Youngstown State. Let's enjoy the rest of the evening and help celebrate with our student athletes. Go Gwins.
You know, as we have these events, and I'm honored to be around the president, I learn more and more about him. Last year we learned that he likes Cracker Barrel. This year I learned that he's a very persuasive man, as if many of you don't already know that. He was able to get Joy Byers to this event for the first time. Joy, it is unbelievable. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Oh, I'm telling everybody. I've already tweeted about it. It's unbelievable. Thank you. That's what this does, but very persuasive. Well done. Way to get her out. It's very nice. Now, as many of you know, the Penguin Club and its members play a vital role in the success of the athletic department here at Youngstown State. While most of you are already members, I'd like to bring up the president of the Penguin Club, Rich Denneman, to tell you more about the importance of becoming a member of the Penguin Club.
10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I probably would have been able to get up that step, but now I got to come around to the short steps. President Johnson, I have to tell you that when I played basketball at YSU, there was a point guard that was a very good point guard. He played for us. His name was Bill Johnson, and he put up some great numbers, some absolutely great numbers, and he was a pleasure to be around, and it still is. And I got to tell you, if you keep on the same path and keep putting up the numbers you're putting up, you'll be in the Hall of Fame like he is at YSU. Congratulations. A couple of days ago, I saw Jim Morrison, and he asked me how things were going with the speech. And I said, well, I think okay. I'm planning to follow the 4B rule. He said, what's that? I said, be witty, be wise, be brief, and be seated. And he kind of looked at me and smirked and said, get rid of the first two. Just use the last two. Be brief and be seated. So I'm going to attempt to follow that. A banquet was held following the 1969-70 men's basketball season, I believe at Mount Carmel Church, sponsored by the Vestibule Club. At least that's the best that Jim Morrison and I can recall. It's been a while. The purpose of that banquet was to honor Coach Dom Roselli for his 400th career win at YSU as the men's basketball coach. He achieved this milestone at Austin Town Fitch High School Gymnasium, where we played our home games that season. a season that finished 22-3 with a national ranking of second in the nation in Division II. At that banquet, the Vestibule Club, there wasn't a Penguin Club back then, awarded Coach Roselli and the team members watches. I have mine with me this evening. My reason for mentioning this is that I hope those of you that are receiving rings will enjoy the many memories of coaches, teammates, and YSU, as I have had the pleasure of doing over the last 50-plus years. I'm Rich Denneman, a former YSU student athlete, as a member of the men's basketball team from 1968 to 1972, coached by Coach Dom Roselli. I grew up in Hubbard and never left the Valley and have no regrets. I was very pleased, as I'm sure you were, to see YSU quarterback and the Walter Payton Award winner, Bo Brungart, make the same decision, as many have, to remain in the Valley. Congratulations to you, Bo, on your decision. We are gathered here this evening to honor YSU student athletes for the Horizon League championships and to recognize their academic success. And I'll thank you, Rob, for mentioning the 7 teams and also the national champion bowling women's team for their abilities and the success that they've had. They will be receiving rings. In fact, your presence here this evening will help to defray the cost of approximately $100,000 to supply those rings. Quite an achievement for you, and I think you deserve to give yourself a round of applause for that. The Penguin Club was founded in 1974 as a booster club and fundraising arm of the YSU Athletic Department. We now help to support the university's 21 sports and over 500 athletes. Membership dollars support all sports. There are 3 types of memberships in the Penguin Club: the Gridiron Club, the Courtside Coaches Club, and Olympic Sports. That is a straight donation to support the YSU Athletic Department. The Penguin Club runs 4 main fundraisers and 2 recognition dinners during the Scholarship Ring Banquet in February, World Penguin Day that will be replaced by the World Day of Giving. This will be held in October. The State Farm Penguin Club Scholarship Golf Outing in June, the SES Engineering Penguin Club Jamboree in mid to late November, the Hall of Fame Luncheon in late January or early February, and the Scholar Athlete Awards Banquet in late April. And for those of you that may have never attended that scholarship banquet in late April, I would highly recommend it. It is awesome to see some of the successes that our student athletes have been able to achieve. It's outstanding. Each year, the Penguin Club provides scholarships to student athletes funded by the Joe Malmasur Scholarship Fund. This year, it will be to the tune of $70,000 for 70 student athletes. We also provide funds of more than $40,000 to purchase computers and technologies for the YSU Athletic Department staff and the coaches. The Penguin Club also supports YSU Athletic Department capital projects. In fact, over the last 25 years, that totals over $2.6 million to projects such as the DeBacco Family Classroom, the Karandovich Family Sports Medicine Center, Lowe's renovations, the Cavelli Sports Complex, the Watts Center, Kilcawley Center, and the Beagley Seating Project. In closing, I too would like to congratulate this year's Penguin of the Year, Bob Hendricks, not only for your award, but for your long-standing continued support. Congratulations, Bob. Thank you.
I thought you might go down this side. It's easier to go down than it is up. On your tables, by the way, you will see, I think there's like 6 per table, there is a registration form. If you would like to become a member of the Penguin Club, there is a sign-up sheet there at your table. You can look over the benefits. If you would like to become a member of the football side or the basketball side, please read that over. If you have any questions, you can always call Tom or Austin during regular business hours, but we have those on your table. If you'd like to become a member tonight, please fill that out. You can leave it up front, and I'm sure we'll get in touch with you at some time. As you probably well know, our student athletes put in a lot of time, whether it's practicing or doing classwork. Their head coaches put in just as much as our student athletes. It's an honor to be around these people on an everyday basis because they mold such young individuals into responsible adults. And it's nice to have that experience on your side. And they have built such successful programs here at Youngstown State. We have 7 championship teams that we're honoring, and there are many others who are also succeeding both on the field and in the classroom. With our coaches in attendance tonight, please stand so that you can be recognized from our attendance here today. All of our coaches that are here. All right. Now, I don't know why they stuck our next speaker so far off to my left, but she is in her 2nd season as the head coach of the women's basketball program. She has guided the Penguins this season to 21 wins, and her team has already clinched the 2nd seed in next week's Horizon League basketball tournament. They will host a first-round game next Wednesday at Zidon Family Arena at Beagley Center, and we are very happy to have her here tonight. Would you please welcome head coach Melissa Jackson.
Wow. Thank you, Rob, and I'm truly honored to speak on behalf of the coaches tonight. I promise I will keep this short, but I do want to share a story with you how I first heard about the scholarship ring banquet. It was 2 years ago. I had just had my first phone call with Ron about the job. It was great. I laid out my vision for women's basketball. He laid out his. I thought we both really aligned, and he was about to hang up, and he told me he would be in touch, but he was really, really, really busy. And I thought to myself, damn, I hope he likes me. So immediately after we hung up, I started to Google the YSU Ring Banquet, and wow, I was absolutely blown away by the photos, the write-ups, the tradition. This was also the year that Coach Tressel was being honored. And wow, absolutely impressive. Shortly after, my husband called, very eager to find out how that call with Ron went. And I distinctly remember telling him, this is the one. This is the job I want. This is it. Fast forward 2 years, and we have absolutely fallen in love with YSU. Last year, we got to experience the ring banquet in person, and it lived up to every picture, every write-up. And it is because of the people. The people truly make this place. Each and every one of you in this room is what makes YSU so, so special. I want to congratulate our championship teams and coaches, women's tennis, men's and women's outdoor track and field, men's and women's cross country, men's and women's indoor track and field. Good luck to Coach Gorby this weekend. And last but not least, our national champions women's bowling team. Please give them another round of applause. Your championship programs are truly inspiring, and we sure hope women's basketball will be joining you very, very soon. I also want to congratulate our student athletes for the hard work that they put forth in their sports, but more importantly in the classroom. That GPA is impressive, and you should all be very, very proud of that. I want to congratulate our Penguin of the Year, Mr. Bob Hendricks. When I first got hired, I had the opportunity to have breakfast with Bob and a few other gentlemen, and I really enjoyed that first meeting, as well as some other events that we've been seated together. I also am so fortunate I get to be in Beagley Center almost every day and see the Hendricks name in our arena. I also walk past it every night when I leave that place. So thank you for all that you have done for YSU. Your dedication and support mean the world to us. You can't have a special place without tremendous leadership, and we absolutely have that. I want to thank President Bill Johnson and his wife Leanne for their support and transformational leadership. The President and First Lady are constants at our games, and that means the world to me and our student athletes. So thank you. We had the honor of having the First Lady as our guest coach for one of our home games, and I am proud to say she's undefeated and no technicals. We may need to get her some bench credentials for that Horizon League tournament, right? I want to thank the Board of Trustees for your leadership and support. Again, such a unique place where we have Board of Trustee members sitting courtside at our games and sending me text messages after big games. It truly means a lot. And lastly, I want to thank our incredible administration led by the best athletic director in Ron Strollo. Ron and his team are amazing. They provide elite organization, structure, competitive drive, unwavering support, and a family-like atmosphere that makes YSU the place that it is. So thank you. Yes, as Rob mentioned, we have locked up the 2 seed, but we do have one more regular season home game this Wednesday night. I hope to see you all out there supporting us. We have a very, very special senior point guard in Casey Santoro. We want to send her out the right way. We're looking to put a bow on this regular season, and we are so ready for March Madness. Go Penguins.
Rich, do you want to think again about maybe coming up on the stage without the smaller steps? She did that in heels, right? She did that in heels, and she did it without any effort. Coach, we wish you all the best Wednesday against Detroit Mercy. That game will tip at 6:30 at Zidon Family Arena. Now, for those of you that have been to this event in the past, this next segment is really one of the highlights of the night, not just honoring our Penguin of the Year, but hearing from our student athletes, hearing their own words, their own experiences, and how they have also become, a Penguin for life. So we're very happy to have the opportunity to hear from a couple of them now. Our first student athlete is a member of the YSU volleyball team. She was named the Horizon League's Female Fall Scholar Athlete of the Season after a stellar 2025 campaign. She is just the second person in school history to earn that honor. This after she became just the second YSU volleyball player to receive All-America Honorable Mention. Would you please welcome the Horizon League Volleyball Player of the Year as she shares her experiences as a Penguin, Abby Householder.
Hello, as he said, my name is Abby Householder, and I'm a senior on the women's volleyball team. I hope everyone is having an amazing night so far. Before I get into my speech, I would first like to give a shout out to some of our teams who have already been congratulated, but one more time because it is quite a big deal. Your commitment to your teams and to our university is admirable, and you are living examples of how hard work, dedication, and discipline pay off. Starting with our Horizon League champions, men's and women's indoor and outdoor track and field, women's tennis, and men's and women's cross country. And then a huge congratulations to our women's bowling team who were national champions for their 2025 season. Let's give it up for our amazing athletes. So next, I want to recognize someone who truly deserves it. Please join me in congratulating our 2026 Penguin of the Year, Bob Hendricks. Thank you for your unwavering support of YSU and our athletic programs. Without supporters like you, athletes like myself would not have the opportunities that we do today. Next, I would like to give a few thank yous. First, to the Penguin Club. I could stand up here for an hour and talk about the impact that you have had on this university and the athletic programs. Without you, we would not have the beautiful championship rings, the life-changing scholarships, and the never-ending brag-worthy list of updates on our facilities. From the locker room renovations, the enhancements, the recently upgraded video board and sound system in the gym, and especially all of the renovations on Zidon Family Arena. It is all amazing, and we are so thankful that you are constantly helping make YSU the best place it can be for its athletes. So thank you. My next huge thank you from myself and on behalf of all the student athletes here at YSU is to everyone here tonight and to those who could not make it. Your generosity and support mean more than you know. We are incredibly grateful for not only your donations, but also for the opportunity to meet you in person tonight, and thank you. Now for my story. I grew up in not so far away Canfield, Ohio. My mother, Maria Householder, also grew up in this area, and my dad, Brian Householder, who is actually here tonight. Say hi, Dad. He grew up we're in West Virginia. They actually met at YSU. My mom played volleyball for John McKenna and Joe Conroy, and my dad played football for the one and only Jim Tressel. Another interesting fact is that my brother and sister also graduated from YSU. So you could say that being a Penguin is kind of in my blood. Growing up, volleyball was my life. I started playing when I was 9 years old, and as soon as I stepped foot on the court, I knew that this is what I was made for. Now you'd think that since all 4 of my family members went to YSU, that this would be an easy decision for me. But I hate to admit that it actually wasn't. I had a few schools, including YSU, in my top choices. Then COVID hit. This made the recruiting process very hard for me. I could not go on visits, couldn't see the campuses, and I couldn't meet teams or coaches other than on Zoom calls. My family and I prayed about it every day, and once I committed, we put it in God's hands. And boy, did he have an amazing plan for me. Throughout my 4 years here at YSU, there has been many ups and downs, but so many unforgettable memories. The people I have met here, between my teammates, amazing staff members, and especially my amazing coaching staff, have changed my life for the better and made me into the person I am today. I don't care how cheesy it sounds every time I say it, but it truly is like a family here. No matter where you go, there is always someone who will greet you with a smile. Everyone is looking out for you and wants what's best for you, as an athlete, a student, and especially as a person. I know that around every corner there is someone with a listening ear who I know I can trust. Because of the people here in the last 4 years, I have become a better friend, teammate, leader, child of God, and overall a better person. Looking back, I feel silly that I ever even slightly doubted my choice of YSU. It has truly become my home away from home, even if home is only 20 minutes away. With our crazy busy schedules, it is harder than you'd think to make time to see my family. This school has given me so much more than I could have ever expected or even asked for. I have met so many amazing people, my future bridesmaids. It has given me confidence, resilience, opportunities, and best of all, unforgettable stories and memories. Some notable ones are singing on the top of our lungs into our blow-up microphones on our way to tournament this year, waking up at 4 a.m. to clean the weight room, laughing until our stomachs hurt, the conditioning test that made us question literally everything, and overall, just the love and support. This year was by far the best group of girls I could have ever asked for to end my career with at YSU. They made the worst days into good ones, teammates into sisters, and they were my support system. I made bonds that will never break, and I am forever grateful for that. I am so excited to see what the future holds for them and for this program. The amount of skill, effort, grit, and drive from these girls is truly unseen. Their want to not only win, but be the best made us able to accomplish the things that we did this year. A few phrases that we used often to keep us in line were, "We get to do this, we don't have to." This was such a good reminder when we were tired, worn out, and complaining. So many people dream to be in the position that we are here at a D1 program. So we get to be here. Another one is work to be 1% better. No matter whether it is in the weight room, on the court, or as a teammate, we always strive to be 1% better than the day before. The people here at YSU have pushed me to become the player I could have never even dreamed of becoming. I absolutely hate talking about myself, so I'm dreading this next part, but I feel like it is truly necessary to highlight these achievements as proof of how blessed I have been by God and how much the people here have pushed me to be the best that I could be. My freshman year, we went to the Horizon League tournament, and I got voted into the Horizon League all-freshman team. My sophomore and junior year, we had a little bit rockier of a season, but I was named to the 2023 and 2024 academic all-district volleyball team, the All-Horizon League second team.
My name is Chris Samron.
And all-academic team in 2024. I also earned the YSU Female PNC Achievers Award in 2024. To top it all off, my senior season, I set a few program and personal records, which helped me achieve many top awards, including All-American and All-Region Honorable Mention from the American Volleyball Coaches Association, National Player of the Week, and Horizon League Player of the Year and Horizon League Offensive Player of the Year. But it would not be right if I were to stand up here and take any of the credit for myself. I truly owe everything to my amazing family and to God. Without them, I would not have made it to where I am, and I definitely would not have achieved the things that I did. My parents only missed 2 games in all 4 years. One was for my cousin's wedding, and the other was for my brother's. My entire family, all 28 of them, have shown me never-ending love and support and have pushed me to become the person and player I am. I am so blessed to have the people in my life that I do, and I am especially blessed that I was able to be a Penguin and see the amazing future our program has. Being part of the change that Coach Riley Jarrett is making for YSU volleyball will forever be one of my biggest accomplishments. My main goal in doing what I do is to be an inspiration. I want every little girl who is trying out for volleyball to see what I have done and want to do it, but better. I want them to know that if they put in the hard work and dedication, anything is achievable. Thank you, YSU, and thank you again to everyone in this room for your endless support. I will forever wear the Y with pride.
How dare your brother get married on the day you have a game? What sibling would do that? Unbelievable. Nice job. Very, very well done. Now, I'm going to find out fact or fiction here. You know, you can find out a lot of stuff about people on the internet. Go figure. All right, is this true, Abby Householder? At one time, you wanted to get a realtor's license. Is that still true? And eventually go to cosmetology school and start your own business doing hair and nails. You're in cosmetology school now, so the internet is true. Everything you read, believe it. Best of luck to you. All right, our next student athlete has his own Wikipedia page. I don't know who started that. Maybe he did. Might be his mom. Why not? Kid deserves it. This past season, he won the Walter Payton Award, as we have heard, as the best offensive player in FCS football. He threw for over 3,200 yards, ran for nearly 1,500 while accounting for 54 touchdowns. That's a Madden. That's statistics that you get in video games. He was recognized as the Walter Camp FCS Player of the Year, as well as First Team Associated Press All-America, becoming the first YSU quarterback to earn that honor. He's got a great story to tell. Would you please say hello to Bo Brungard?
Thank you for that kind introduction. I just hope Chris Samron doesn't come and interrupt my speech. But hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bo Brungard, and I'm the quarterback for the football team here at YSU. I'm a proud graduate of Springfield Local High School right down the road from here, and I've been able to spend the last 4 years playing football for the Penguins. Now, this is my 4th go-around with the ring banquet, and every year, this event never ceases to amaze me. From the incredible sports teams our school showcases, to just being able to look out across the room and see the amount of support we have for our athletics. It is just truly impressive. With that being said, I'm honored to have been asked to speak in front of you all tonight and to share a little bit about my journey and the impact YSU has had on me. Before we get into that, I would like to start by congratulating our Penguin of the Year, Mr. Bob Hendricks. Give a round of applause for him. It is because of people like you that make Youngstown what it is, truly. Characteristics of determination, consistency, and true unselfishness are all things we can glean from Mr. Hendricks and his story. I would like to thank the Penguin Club and everyone in the room who has donated or supported YSU athletics in some way. Each of you has uniquely played a part in building the championship culture we have at YSU. I would also like to congratulate all of our Horizon League champions in the room tonight. It has been remarkable to witness YSU's continued dominance in the Horizon League throughout so many sports. And last but certainly not least, congratulations to our national championship bowling team for putting Youngstown back on the map as national champs. Let's give them a round of applause. And if we ever decide to start a men's team, I know me and a few football guys would love to join that. When I started to think about what I plan on sharing tonight, I began to look back at my journey and look at how I got here. Throughout that process, it was evident to me that the Lord was orchestrating each event in every season of my life. From every coach, mentor, game, practice, and relationship I have built, whether good or bad, it was all due in part to the Lord to teach me and to shape me into the person I am right now. So I can say with confidence, I would not be up here and I would not have a hope of a future without my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So my journey began growing up on my family's farm in the middle town, 15 minutes down the road. Naturally, I spent a lot of time outside the house doing anything from fishing to being forced to work around the farm with my grandfather. However, most of my spare time was spent in the front yard playing football with my brothers. I attribute this part of my life to where I learned to run the football because if they would have got a hold of me, the fun would have come to an end. Following my high school career at Springfield Local, I'd received only one offer, which was from Coach Phillips at YSU. Disappointing at the time, knowing how many other schools passed me up, it wasn't hard for me to make my decision. I had grown up hearing the stories of my father and the championships he had won playing quarterback for Coach Trussell. Seeing his rings in the house and putting them on my fingers as a little kid, it placed a desire inside me to help achieve that level of greatness again for this city and for this school. As I pondered my experiences these past 4 years playing football for YSU, all I could think about was the numerous relationships I had formed. In my first few years, I leaned heavily on former quarterback Mitch Davidson as he showed me what leadership looks like and how crucial mental preparation is for success. Through my relationship with Coach Mason Garrison and the strength staff, I have learned the importance of being pushed past the threshold of what your mind thinks it can do because growth cannot occur within comfort. And through this past year, getting to know our new offensive coordinator, Coach Yursich, the knowledge and wisdom he has poured out so passionately has changed the trajectory of my career here at YSU. It is because of these relationships and so many others that led to my decision to come back for my final year. I believe the driving force behind the identity of Youngstown is the people who show loyalty and grit regardless of the circumstances at hand. I wanted to reciprocate that same kind of loyalty that each of you in this room has demonstrated through your support for YSU year after year. I take pride in getting to call Youngstown home and that I have the opportunity to put on the red and white for one more year in the Ice Castle. Thank you, everyone. Go Gwins.
I mean, this is why you love rooting for the young man. He gets up here and very humbly says, for those of you who don't know me, if you turn on your television and flip around every channel, you're bound to find a Galt, Farmers, some commercial that Bo is out in front of and endorsing in our market. So congratulations to Bo, well deserved. As you can tell from our two student athletes, YSU is all about family. It's about following in your parents' footsteps while still being able to carve out your own niche and make your own way through life. The same can be said for this next father-son duo. Please turn your attention now to the video screens to learn more about their story.
My name is Chris Samron. I'm from Canfield, Ohio, and I play middle linebacker. What inspired me to pursue a career in football was definitely my father. I got brought here originally as a walk-on, and I wouldn't have traded for the world. And that was definitely like a defining moment that was like, you're from Youngstown, you have two people in your family that you're super close with that played at this university. I think it would be a no-brainer for you to go and play at the same place. He likes to brag a little bit because he did win. He was a part of 3 national title teams. It was really a sight to see and hear him talk about it.
He may go all the way. Mark Brungard.
Originally out of high school, I had a scholarship to play football at the University of Kentucky. And I was there for a little over a year, and things just didn't work out. And I came home to Youngstown with no intentions of playing football anymore. And when I heard that Coach Trussell wanted me to play for him here, that opportunity, I couldn't take advantage of that any faster than I did. My favorite memory of playing football here at YSU is probably my senior season, which was 1994. And that's when we went undefeated and won a national championship.
And it's an all-senior offensive line featuring the first-team All-American Chris Samarone at center. And that's it. They won't have to snap it again. The Youngstown State Penguins, the first team in the history of the Division I AA playoffs to win 3 national titles in a 4-year span.
Having my father watch me play in the same stadium that he also competed in meant a lot. I never really thought about it until he started calling the radio when I was younger. And I was like, man, it would be really cool if my dad was calling the game and then I was on the field while he's calling the game and he gets to call my name.
I know what my son had to go through to get here. Probably a greater feeling than I ever had playing myself here at YSU. I couldn't be any prouder than I am of him and what he's been able to accomplish here at YSU.
Special thank you to Trevor Parks, Madison Chapman, Jacob Schneider, and Olivia Denson for producing that video. And that pretty much encapsulizes what we talk about all the time here at Youngstown State, and it is a family atmosphere. I would like to take this time to recognize a couple of more students. They are usually behind the scenes. One's a little bit more out in front of the other, but our 2 students who have been recipients of a couple of very special scholarships. First, Anthony Romo. If he would please stand. Anthony is a recipient of the Chuck Perizich Scholarship that is awarded to students who assist the Athletic Communications Department in honor of the Vindicator's longtime editor and Youngstown State historian Chuck Perizich. Anthony, many of you may know, also is the play-by-play voice of our women's basketball program on ESPN+, and we're very happy to have him. Anthony, congratulations. Our other student is Drew Storzalak. He works in our department. He's the recipient of the Bruce Burge Scholarship that annually goes to a student that assists us in the athletic marketing department. Drew could not be here tonight. I would now like to recognize some of our past Penguins of the year who are in attendance with us tonight. If they would please stand when I call their name. Rick Frida. Jim and Kathy Morrison. Not sure, Ed Moransky, not sure if Ed made it or not tonight. Dave Collins, the Collins family in Diamond Steel. Dave Dybel. The Hively family. Joe Carolla. The Leiden family. Dr. Daryl Mincy and Vicki Mincy. Also Ed Reese. Not sure if Reed and Judy are here, the Schmutzes. Jeff Wilkins, and our YSU football alumni. As we reach the pinnacle of tonight's program, I'm very happy to bring up one of our other past Penguins of the Year. He will introduce to you this year's recipient of the award. Would you please welcome the president of the YSU Foundation, Paul McFadden.
Thank you, Robbie. It is a great honor to introduce Bob Hendricks this evening. You know, last April, Ron Strollo called me and said, Bob's going to be Penguin of the Year next year. I couldn't agree with it more. And well, the next day, Bob called. And he said, hey, can we get together and maybe start talking about your presentation and my words? And I said, okay, Bob, it's April. The dinner's in February. So we got together in April. We got together in May. We had lunch in June. The point is, in the history of the Penguin of the Year award, the presenter and the honoree have never been as prepared as Bob and I are this evening for this wonderful honor that he is so deserved of. I've known Bob since the early 1990s. I've always looked up to him. Learned a lot this past year about his amazing life journey. I've learned some Bob Hendricks trivia that I'll share with you. But he said something in our first meeting. He said, I wrote it down, I don't know why they're honoring me. My story's not that special. Well, I beg to differ. And I think after a few moments of my words, you will also beg to differ. Bob was born and raised in Greenford, a rural community. He lived down the street from his parents and his grandparents, They owned a farm. So he spent a lot of time as a little one working on the farm, and that impacted his life so much. As long as I've known Bob, he said, if you know someone who grew up on a farm, you know someone who knows how to work. And that was the roots of Bob's life, working on his grandparents' farm. His father worked in a strip mine, American fire clay. They would take the clay out of the ground and line the open hearths, the furnaces back in the day. It's part of our industrial heritage, the clay and the open hearths, so they would last longer. It was hard work for his dad. Then his brother graduated high school, and he went to the mine. Dirty, dangerous. You're out in the elements, snow, rain, every day. Very, very tough job. Could you bring up that photograph, please? So Bob's had this photo in his office on a shelf as long as I've known him. It's also on page 2 in your program. And until we started talking this year, I would see it there, but it didn't mean a whole lot. This photographs his father, Bob's 2 sons who are here with us this evening, Robert and Richard, and Bob, at American Fire Clay. Bob's had this photo on his bookshelf in his office his whole life. It represents his heritage. It represents a big transition Bob Hendricks went through. So he graduates from high school, and Mom loads him up in the car and takes him down to the big downtown Youngstown, and what was then Youngstown University. Because she said, you are not working in that mine like your father and your brother. So Bob enrolled in Youngstown University. He did end up working in the mine in summers and evenings. He worked in the steel mills. One summer, he worked loading 50-pound bags of the clay on train to be taken down to the open hearth. Hard work's always been a huge part of Bob's life. Hard and difficult work. So I must digress for one moment. Bob loaned us this photo, and it was in a frame, and it had a glass, and so Siobhan Batch in our office, who does our graphics, helped me, and she replicated it. We had to take it out of the glass. On the back is the date this photograph was taken. It was taken November 24th, 1977. So, of course, we had to Google that. This was taken on Thanksgiving Day, this photograph. So apparently that's what they did in the Hendricks household back then. What do you want to do on a holiday? Let's load the kids up in the car and run them down to the strip mine with Grandpa. So my first Bob Hendricks trivia, this I could not believe. He graduates in 1964, and Bob matriculated to New York City and enrolled in NYU, and in 2 years earned a master's degree in education. Bob Hendricks, the businessman, the entrepreneur, has a master's degree in education. I found that fascinating. Never taught a day in his life. He then embarked on a career in various roles in manufacturing, because that's where he was most comfortable. Bob Hendricks trivia number 2. In 1966, he was the very first local hire at the new General Motors Lordstown plant. In fact, the plant wasn't even there yet. It was under construction. He was hired in the accounting office, which at that time was up in Cleveland, the very first local hire. He told me, I had to write this down too, he was the 6th desk in the 8th row of desks at the accounting department, so he didn't stay very long. He then had various roles again, primarily in manufacturing. Typically, he was on the track for sales until Bob Hendricks realized he produced the most, he was most motivated, he was the happiest when he answered to one particular boss, and that was himself. 1983, he was working in Niles and driving home one day and saw a for sale sign out in front of a huge manufacturing plant, an old factory, 165,000 square foot factory. Called the bank, they came, they showed him the factory because he had a vision. He said, I want to buy the factory with the banker. He said, fantastic, great. What do you have for down payment? Nothing. I have a vision for a company. I know we have a lot of bankers here this evening. That banker took a gamble, and it turned out sensationally. If you've ever been to Niles Manufacturing and Finishing, it kind of exemplifies its owner. It's a factory. It's loud. There's banging noises and machines. There's a half brick, half cement floor. It smells like paint and oil. It's manufacturing. It's hard work. It's where Bob came from. It's what he's created. Niles Manufacturing and Finishing now employs 85 people that he helps now have a livelihood. They coat in paint. They don't really make anything. They have these huge dipping baths with paint and different coatings, and they have all these assembly lines running around, mechanized. It's a factory. It is a plant, and it was Bob's vision. It was Bob's vision of what he created with no down payment. He's never forgotten where he has come from. Like I said, I've known Bob since the early 90s. He's been a member of the Penguin Club since the 1980s, a long-time member of the Penguin Club Board of Trustees. As President Johnson said, made a very generous gift to the Bigley Center renovation to name the grandstands on the west side. He has 3 children, Sharon, who could not join us this evening, but Richard and Junior are here. He has 6 grandchildren. And if anyone goes up on the second level of Stambaugh Stadium Scholarship Loges during a ball game, the First Lady and the most gracious host of the Niles Manufacturing Loge is his wife, Michelle. She hasn't smiled yet. So back to that photo. Now I know why it's on his shelf. Bob's mom was right. She knew her son had tremendous work ethic, and she knew he was smart, and she knew he had an entrepreneurial spirit inside. Bob's mom was right to take him down to Youngstown University that day, and the result has been, well, it's Niles Manufacturing and Finishing 40 years later with all the successes that it has had. It's an honor to call to the podium the 2026 YSU Penguin Club Penguin of the Year, Bob Hendricks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm deeply honored and sincerely grateful to stand before you tonight as the Penguin of the Year 2026. As I look around this room and think of the countless people who have supported YSU athletics, whether invisible or from behind the scenes, but always with unwavering commitment and truly humbled to be recognized among them. Thank you to the Penguin Club Selection Committee and to all of you here this evening for your dedication to the university, and most importantly, to the student athletes who represent us so well. I grew up down the road in Greenford, Ohio, in a town where hard work wasn't an option. It was simply a way of life. My high school graduating class had 32 students. Much of what I learned about responsibility and perseverance came from long days working on my grandparents' farm. There were no shortcuts, just honest labor and pride in a job well done. Those lessons have stayed with me my entire life. My father spent his career working in the mines, first in coal, then in clay. My brother followed in his footsteps, but my mother believed a different path was possible for me. She made it clear that college was not a suggestion. It was an expectation. Like any son, I followed her advice, and that decision brought me to Youngstown State. At YSU, I studied business. I paid $13 a credit hour, a little over $200 a semester. That may have been the best investment I've ever made. Youngstown didn't just provide me with education, but it gave me purpose and confidence. Encouragement from a professor made me pursue a master's degree at NYU. No soon after that, I began my career in manufacturing at General Motors Lordstown before the plant even opened its doors. Later, I was given the opportunity to lead Niles Manufacturing and Finishing, where I've now spent more than 40 years. Throughout those years, one thing has remained constant: my commitment to Penguin athletics. Since the early 90s, I've supported the program in the stands and throughout the community, wherever I felt I could make a difference. Not out of obligation, but out of a genuine belief. I believe in this university. I believe in the people who make it what it is, and the values I see every time a Youngstown State athlete takes the field. Grit, integrity, tireless work ethic that reminds me of the community that raised me. To the student athletes here tonight, your hard work does not go unnoticed. We admire your discipline, respect your character, and take pride not only in how you perform, but how you present Youngstown State in this community. YSU provided the foundation for everything that has followed in my life. Giving back has been an honor and a privilege. To my family and friends, thank you for your constant support. To the coaches, staff, university leadership, thank you for your dedication and vision. And to the Penguin Club, thank you once again for this extraordinary recognition. This award means more to me than words can fully express. Go Penguins.
So this evening is truly special. We have never had a capstone to the Penguin of the Year award like we do this evening. I'd like to call Bob's three grandchildren here, Annie, Ellie, and Andrew, forward, please. Andrew, Ellie, and Annie, they inherited their grandpa's love for public speaking, so I will speak on their behalf this evening. Bob's grandchildren, in honor and out of pride for their grandpa, have made a donation of $25,000 to endow the Robert K. Hendricks Scholarship at the YSU Foundation that will support generations of students in your honor, Bob. And the surprises aren't done. This is a surprise for you three. An anonymous donor is matching your donation, so the Bob Hendricks Scholarship will start with a principal of $50,000. Thank you. Congratulations, Bob. Robbie, I turn the program back to you.
And if that's not enough, he set a record for 4 standing ovations. 4. I'm tired. Congratulations, Bob. All right, as we wrap up tonight's program, best of luck to the men's and women's track and field teams as they compete in the Horizon League Indoor Championships this weekend inside the Watts. Best of luck to the women's basketball team as they close out their regular season Wednesday night against Detroit Mercy. That game will tip at 6:30. Best of luck to the men's basketball program. They will wrap up the regular season in Wisconsin this week, playing at Milwaukee on Wednesday and at Green Bay on Saturday. Best of luck to lacrosse. They are at UMBC this Wednesday for a match at 4 p.m. Also, best of luck to baseball and softball. They're both at Longwood this weekend for weekend competition. The men's tennis team will host Niagara this Friday at 4. The women are at Toledo on Friday before heading to California next week. And also, the women's bowling team is at the Stallings Invitational in Greensboro, North Carolina this weekend. It's a busy time at Youngstown State. We're all very happy that you're a part of it. Hope that you enjoy your evening. Please drive safely. We'll see you at the game.